Hey everybody, Mega Ruler 31 back from FSI DFS. I will be breaking down pretty much just baseball in general for Thursday 9/16. We're to the point of season where football is going on and college football is going on, and so much is going on that baseball has just gotten really screwy with their scheduling. So here's what we're facing today. We have a 5-game slate starting at 12:20, which is kind of the main. It's almost like a Sunday or a holiday on DK. And then the late slate, there's only 3 games. It starts at like 6:05. There's a lot of weather concerns. FanDuel isn't synced up as usual, so they have like an early only slate. So they've got the 2 12 o'clock games on their very early only slate, and then their early slate is the final 3 games of the DK early slate starting at about 2:20. And then they have a 5 o'clock slate where they're covering 4 games instead of DK covering 3 games. But the 5 o'clock game might get rained out also. So this is an absolute mess. So my advice for you today is if you're playing for your achievements is maybe play tiers instead of classics. So you can just play $1 in there or just play the early, because the night slate is just going to be so difficult. Just look at that quickly with the night slate. Like I said, in FanDuel, you have about a 50% chance of rain for New York and Baltimore. That game's only on FanDuel. So that game could be eliminated. If it does play, the Yankees have a 6.21 total, which is super sky high. But then if looking at this night slate, you have Philadelphia has about a 43% chance of rain. It looks like it's tapering off, so they might get that one in. You have Detroit and Tampa Bay, and then you have Houston and Texas. Framber Valdez is going to be probably 100% owned in cash in DK, simply because there are no real other pitcher options. Your only other option for SP2 is really going to be Hendricks. You have Adonis Medina, who is probably only going to pitch 2 to 3 innings for the Phillies. You have Tyler Anderson, who's not gone very deep, only 2 to 3 innings for the Tigers. You have an opening situation in Tampa Bay, and you have an opening situation in Texas, and then Glenn Otto probably taking over. So that is just going to be such a bad, chalky slate. Most people are probably going to go Valdez and Kyle Hendricks, and then probably going to stack the Houston bats against Otto, having 5.5 total, and then like probably mix in all the other things. So that pretty much covers the late slate. So let's look at this early slate. Unfortunately, again, we've got huge weather issues. I think the worst situation of the day is going to be the Colorado Rockies and the Atlanta Braves. You're looking at probably about 70% chance of rain all day there. I think it's still the remnants of the hurricane that came up through Louisiana and Texas. So we thought yesterday it might get rained out, but they did make it through that game. But here it does not look good. But you've got 2 decent pitches in Marquez and Ian Anderson. So if the game does play, I think that gives you 2 other options. But if it doesn't play, then you're really strapped for pitching option at this slate also. You have Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. You have Tyler Mahle and Connor Overton. Overton is pretty bad pitcher, so you don't want him. Mahle is probably going to be one of the chalk pitchers on the slate, so I think he's definitely a lock there. And you're going to want to play a lot of Reds, and probably not any Pirates. There'd just be a leverage stack if you're trying to come up with multiple lineups in this one. But like I said, this is a slate to really play light. You have the Los Angeles Angels and the Chicago White Sox. Ronaldo Lopez against Alex Cobb. Alex Cobb is coming back from the injured list, and he did not go to AAA or do any warm-up games. So they said his workload is going to be limited. So I think he's a trap to play. I might only get through 3 or 4 innings for you. Probably one of the better situations out there among all the other scrub pitchers, but without knowing like pitch count or how far he's going, he's going to be difficult to play. And then Lopez on the other side has really only got like 1 or 2 strikeouts and pretty much maybe 10 DK points or something. Like, it really just has not been a very good pitcher. So I don't think I'd even really consider Lopez. I think maybe 10 to 12 points, but you're playing like 7-5 for him. You have Kansas City and Oakland. You have Daniel Lynch and Paul Blackburn. Again, neither one of these pitchers has really done well recently. Lynch at least went 6 innings last time out. He's had some 5 or 6 innings, but his box score is 4 earned runs, 6 earned runs. Now, he did have a little bit of a streak of like only 1 earned runs, but the A's have done really well recently. So he did put up like a pretty good game against Houston. But other than that, like, he's been so sporadic. Sometimes he hasn't even made it out of the first inning. So I don't know, you can't really trust that either. And then Blackburn on the other side is a no. And then in San Diego and San Francisco, you have Kevin Gossman and Ross DeWitter, who looks like it's just going to be an opener and the bullpen's going to take over. So there's a no situation. But I think Gossman is the other pitcher that you're going to look at 10-6. So if you look at the slate, I think pretty much it's just going to be lock in Gossman, lock in Male, and then look at bats. I think Cincinnati is definitely going to be probably the chalkiest stack. Probably going to have they have a 4.67 total. I know that Oakland has a 4.91 total, but that one's just going to be so hard to build. So let me just pull up DK here and we'll look at a couple of builds for you. Okay, so like I said, your pitchers are going to be Gossman and Male. If this game plays, I think Ian Anderson is definitely in play here. Marquez has been pitching decent recently, but like the Braves have also been hitting pretty well. Like I said, Cobb's coming back from the injured list. The whole San Diego is going to be probably a bullpen situation or an opener and a long reliever. And then the rest of these guys are very, very suspect. So catcher, I think Cincinnati is going to be the team. If Barnhart's in there, he gets a split advantage at 2.7. He's probably going to be one of the cheaper catchers. Just lock him in there. And then let's just fill out with Cincinnati. I think the key to the slate, and maybe the guy I should put on the cover should be, where is he? Schrock. He has been actually not bad. He had a stolen base yesterday, so he had like 12 DK points. So at least he's not getting zeros here. He's getting a hit in each game, and he's so cheap at like minimum price. So like 329, like not power, but you know, someone that's for 2K that's going to at least get you like a few points. So he's definitely going to be the second guy after Barnhart in the lineup. So then who are the bigger bats? So Castellanos, I think we can take him. Probably want Votto, probably want India in our lineup there. So it's going to leave us third base, shortstop, and outfield. And from these ones, if you look at San Francisco Giants, there are guys that are going to fit in here that are going to fill out this lineup and make this work for you. So the other option would be to try to get the A's in. And I'm going to leave Schrock in the lineup because you're probably going to absolutely need him today if you're going to try to get these A's in, because they're so expensive. So here you go, Marte. I don't know. I think you're going to have to make a choice between Marte and Kana. It's just going to be too hard to try to get both of them in just with their pricing, unless you do something different with pitcher. So Harrison, I'll take at second base. Now, here's one thing like that's going to might help you get is Chapman fouled the ball off his leg on, I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. He's been out for a couple games. So if he's back and ready to go, then he's definitely a great play here. If he's not here, then Kemp might be in there again, and that's going to open up a whole bunch of savings, and you'll be able to get some more A's in there. So, but if not, for the outfield, I think Pinder, if he's in, is nice and cheap at 3-1. And like I said, you can make a choice here. You can go with like Gomes if he's in, but I think what's probably going to make sense with the split advantage and the situation is just to put Barnhart in there also. So that's going to leave you first base and shortstop open. Again, look at San Francisco, and you should be able to find some guys who are starting for them in a good, it's not a great hitting situation because the weather's so cheap, but they're against some pitchers that aren't good, or, you know, maybe KC guys fit in here, be okay. Angels are cheap also. I don't know if there's a first baseman for the Angels because usually Walsh is pretty expensive, but at shortstop, I think Mayfield fits in there. So lots of options. So I think the biggest key to the slate is going to be if this Colorado and Atlanta game plays, and if you can get off one of these pitchers and put in Ian Anderson in for one of the two of them, or if you want to go like in a GBP play like Marquez, but it's a little bit risky against Atlanta. So those are a couple options there, but I think it's just very, very hard build. So I think I'd just stick with Gausman and Molly. I'd go with the Cincinnati build. I'd throw in the San Francisco guys. If you want to be a little bit different and go with this Oakland one who's got a nice tool, that's fine. But, you know, San Diego, if you aren't playing Gausman and you want to go with like Lopez or a pitcher and Lopez or Lynch, if you got a feeling on one of those two, I think, you know, that's how you're going to take down a tournament and then play a contrarian, like play Cincinnati or play Pittsburgh and don't play Male, or play San Diego and don't play Gausman or something like that. So stack LA and the White Sox. So I think most popular it's going to be Cincinnati, Male, Gausman, fill in with San Francisco. So that pretty much wraps things up. Tomorrow it looks like we're back to normal with a decent slate. We said some decent pitchers, so just got to make it through the slate today, and hopefully some of these things helped you. So if you have any questions, reach out to me on Twitter at MegaRotor31. Drop some comments below. I'll try to get back to you and let you know what our thoughts are. And maybe something radically changed. Maybe one of these pitchers is wrong and somebody else will come out and we'll be like, oh, wow, there's a great option for you. And if we see that, we'll drop it in the comments also. So thanks for watching. I'm MegaRuler31, and we'll catch you next time.